Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits and Motor Cast. This is your host, Dave. I got a line special guest, driver of the Bad Judgment car, Clinton Kilpatrick. How you doing, Clinton?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. So you're coming off of the big win at Cots, huh? How's that experience go for you?
It was pretty wild. We give you a little backstory on the whole weekend. Actually, we didn't actually even fire the car all year till Wednesday night. So we did that. Fired it up, put it in the trailer. Thursday night we went testing. First pass out, it was going really good. It was on its fastest pass ever, right off the gate. And broke something in the trans, it buzzed the motor up, but we got 4 intake valves Thursday night. So that started the weekend off kind of on the wrong note. But Thursday night, we loaded the thing back in the trailer and headed back at the shop, had the heads off, trans back out by 11 o'clock that night. So got all that done. Friday morning, got the trans rebuilt, had to grab some parts and got the heads all reassembled. I had the heads back together by like 3, and then I think we had the car running by like 5:30 on Friday night. So we're back at the track on Friday night, and then didn't make a hit, but Saturday it was right off the trailer, so won first round, so we're happy with that.
Yeah. So I know you guys went up against Hector Laraquente with his first time doing Cots from the Wise Guys.
Yep, and man, those guys they're fast. I mean, they definitely had the field covered. You know, they would have made A to B passes, and Hector and those guys over there, they're awesome guys. So, semifinals when we raced them, I loaded up pretty hard. So we tried the first gear lead, which we haven't tried yet at all. So we did that, and it went out there, rattled the tire pretty hard, and I did a quick little pedal job on it, and she recovered and went 1, 2, 3, right up to 10 grand every shift. So he got loose a little bit down track and ended up just chasing him down. I think I got him by maybe 2 feet at the finish line, but if you would have seen the GoPro video that we had from in the car, it was intense. So.
Yeah, I think that the GTO got a little bit overpowered that semifinal run for Hector.
Yep, yeah. So no, I knew I had to throw everything at it that we had. So I said it's either going to go or it's probably going to kick the tire off. But I'm gonna try my ass off to try to do something to give him at least give him a run for his money. But his car's it's awesome. It makes a lot of power. It's a really light, beautiful car, and I mean, once those guys get that deal figured out on OPEP, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So.
Oh yeah, because with the Wise Guys, he's been running in the 6s almost every run he's been doing so far this year.
Yep. So I mean, he's been 640s with that car. We've been 680. Last time we haven't ran the car quarter mile in a long time. We've been 680s with the car quarter mile. It's faster now. But still, I mean, his car's it's a light carbon fiber deal. Ours is still 3,300 pounds all steel. So little different ball game, a little harder to get it down the track and stuff. But I mean, we got lucky. We got in a pedal fest, and luckily I've done it enough times in that car where I was able to get the win on it. So
yeah, they're running the twin turbo. You're running blown alcohol.
Yep, yes, sir. So they got a big Sunny Hemi in that one. We got a Brad 8, real high RPM deal in ours. So kind of 2 different combos on it, but both just make a bunch of power. So
then I know they want them to come back for the fall Cots.
Oh yeah. No, I'd love to see those guys back, man. They're awesome guys. They came over to my trailer after the race, and we watched, our GoPro videos, whatever videos I had on my laptop from that pass, and they were just laughing. They're like, man, we were just, we tuned it up. We know we were running you guys. I'm like, you don't have to tune it up against us. I mean, you got us covered, but no, we were both getting after it, and it was a lot of fun, but a little sketchy too. So.
Now, I know Jerry Constalos from the Wise Guys, he was at COTS too, right?
Yep, and we raced him second round, so that was actually our really only clean hit of the day. The car was on a pass, and I got out of the car, and I told my old man when he got down the finish line, I'm like, that is bar none the fastest pass we've ever made to the eighth by far. So the car was hauling ass. I really should have touched it after that. I was getting greedy with it. So we switched to the newer billet, Brad Anderson block total flow head deal last year. And we had some struggles with it, trying to just learn the combo and stuff like that. Just figuring out what it takes, on the fuel side. I had to add a bunch more electronics in it just to get it to handle the power and stuff and get the power to the ground. But we're getting that deal figured out slowly but surely. Middle of last year, we broke the trans real bad and dropped a bunch of intake valves in the motor just like we did Thursday night, so a couple weeks ago. So, it was, we did that, but we tore up a lot more stuff. So that kind of set us back last year, and I really didn't get a lot of hits with it. But found some issues, and I think, we kind of got to figure it out. I just got to get some more hits on it and some more data on the car. And, it's still got a lot left in it. But once we get it figured out, man, it's going to fly. So.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the final with Tough Enough.
Yeah, so with Tough, last year, Fall Cots, man, that was actually the first time that me and Tough ever raced. We've been talking about it, and, we helped Brian a little bit with his fuel stuff. A couple of years ago, he was having some issues with the fuel side, so we pulled the system and stuff for him at the track and made some hits. We made some adjustments, and got him real close on his stuff. And his guys do a good job now, managing the fuel side and everything else like that. So, and his car 60 foot's like crazy. I don't know if mine will run with his to 60 foot. He's a little bit lighter than us, but his car just it flat out works. So, I give those guys a lot of credit because they actually do. When the car makes a hit, it goes A to B every hit. So, we got a little bit more mile an hour. We probably right now the way we're sitting, we probably got 10 more mile an hour on him. He just out 60 foots us. But the cars are extremely close. So last year he had me by 4th thou on the tree, and we ran identical ETs. So at the stripe it was 4th thou. So that's maybe a few inches. So going into the final, I wasn't going to leave nothing on the table on the tune-up. I went back to the second gear leave, and I think combination between that and they're started getting a lot of dew in the track and stuff too, so I don't know if that had something to play into it too, but no, she was a little hot in the final, so I got a little too greedy there.
Yeah, he red lighted, right?
Yeah. What was that?
I said, Tough red lighted, didn't he?
Yep, so he went 012 red. I actually had a perfect light. So that was from back in the old bracket racing days, so I usually know how to cut a light pretty good on a pro tree, so.
Yeah. So I got a buddy named Jet Car George does video. He wanted me to ask you if you remember him doing a video of you years ago, and he gave you a VHS tape.
Oh man, it's probably back when my dad was driving the car. So I'm sure it's been forever. We got so many tapes and everything else around that. I'd have to remember what year it was. I could probably tell you what we were doing with the car then, but I didn't really start driving the car till I think 2006, 2007. I think I made my first hit the car. We're just index racing it. I had my old nitrous motor in it. The chassis was getting a little older, so since then we've done a lot of updating to the chassis and stuff to make it spec higher. And worked better, double framed, railed it, did all the rest of the safety updates and stuff to it. So, But at the time, yeah, we were index racing it, and obviously it's been blown alcohol for a long time before that too. So, I mean, back in 2000, what was that, 2005, my dad went 689 and 205 in that thing with her old junk, So, I mean, back in that day, that was a pretty good number, and now, I mean, that's nothing compared to the stuff that's out now.
So now, what year is that car?
It's a 63 Dodge Polara, and it's still got stock steel doors on it. They're not gutted or nothing, besides just the plexi windows. But it still has stock, linkage and stuff inside of it. It's still got a stock steel deck plate on the back of it. So with me sitting with my chubby ass in the car, I mean, it's 3,300 pounds of me in it with no ballast in the car. So it's not light by any means, but it's mostly steel, and there's even still steel in the lift-off front end. There's a stock steel piece, that ties in the bumper and the fenders and all that stuff too. So,
right. So now I had Dick Messino on the air the other day. He said Messino said he's looking forward to Shake Rattle and Run going against you guys again someday.
Oh yeah, no, I love running with those guys. They're awesome dudes. So we match raced them on Mopar Day last year, and I think I got him the first time. He had to click it early. I think I clicked it early too, just a little bit later. Second run, he got me. I dropped the cylinder about 500 feet in the pass, and he came cruising by me, just near me at the finish line. And then Sunday is when we actually broke the trans and broke the motor real bad, racing him again. So. But, no, I always love match racing those guys at the Grove, and that's a lot of fun, when we do that with them. So they're awesome guys to run with, and I'm sure we'll do it again pretty soon. So.
Yeah, Dick kind of hinted to me though that he's got your number on the racing with his car.
Yeah, he's got my number.
He said he had a driver, Lopez. He's not racing no more because he had a problem with his arm. So they got another driver now. So he said he's ready to beat you on the track now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So. Well, hopefully those guys get back out, and we'll run them again one day. I'm sure.
I know they'll be out there Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get out there. Usually I use those weekends, if we got to run, we try to help the track out and run down there on the big weekends like that and stuff. We weren't able to do Memorial Day this year, but Labor Day weekend, I think we should be able to do it if the car's in one piece. I'll kind of use it as a test session, I guess you could say. So try some new stuff out. If the car kicks off the tires or does something stupid, it doesn't really matter for that stuff. So, but most of the stuff we do is just in preparation for COTS. We might try to hit some that Street Outlaws no prep deal at Joliet. I think that's a week before COTS, but we might try to hit that and do the race your way in deal.
So now, Clinton, how did you first get into drag racing? From your dad?
Yep, from my dad. So I actually started drag racing when I was 8 years old in junior dragsters, and obviously that taught me a lot. So from there, after I was done with juniors, because I really didn't fit in the car anymore when I was 15, we got basically a top dragster. We got a Spitzer dragster. Ran that where I had a big nitrous Hemi in it. Ran that, and I mean, when I was 17 or 18, I was going bottom sevens, in a top dragster, doing the top dragster type bracket racing. So that was pretty cool. I just I got tired of the dragster, with all the stuff or whatever that was associated with it. Then the door car was just kind of sitting there for a year. We weren't going to run it much because the chassis needed a lot of updating and stuff. So I took my big nitrous motor out of the dragster and I put it in the 63, and I started driving that thing. We did some index stuff, 850, 80 index, whatever. We had a lot of fun with that. It was kind of nice looking back on it because you could just run the thing around and around, you slap a nitrous bottle in it, and throw the battery charger on it, add some gas every now and again, and, you kick back in a lawn chair. And, eventually the nitrous deal kind of, as we tried to go faster and faster with it, the nitrous deal kind of tired me out. And I knew I had the blower motor sitting there, and, it's, the blower motor is way faster, makes probably double the horsepower that my nitrous steel had at least. So we put the blower motor in, and I kind of, kept stepping it up after that. So, we're where we're at now. So car's pretty much the same, but we just keep stepping up the motor a little bit, every year.
So what year was that when you put the blower motor back on?
I think we put the blower motor back in like 2011 or 2012, and that was our old cast block, Venny-headed motor, and that thing served us well for a lot of years. And you can pound on that thing, and I mean, I knew how to make that thing lead the line hard as hell, and I mean, we did some pretty hellacious 60 foots with that thing back in the day. We kind of got to the point where it kept breaking rocker stands and little valve train parts here and there, and we just got sick of trying to chase those little problems around. And they really didn't make a lot of parts for that motor anymore, so we ended up making the big jump last year, and we actually bought a top alcohol funny car motor right out of Andy Bull's funny car, basically, and that actually the same motor that's in it right now won the U.S. Nationals in 2015 or 2016, I believe, and it won the 4-wide race too. So it's it's got a little history behind it. So
right.
The motor runs like a motherfucker, and we just got our crappy old root spoiler on top of it. So thing only makes like 30 pounds of boost right now. So, but it makes a lot of power. It's just a little bit more temperamental than the other motor is, but it's definitely got a lot more potential to it.
So now, since you've been driving the car with the blower motor back in, what's the fastest runtime you've had with that car?
Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said since you put the blower back in, since you've been driving it, what's the fastest time you've had with that car?
We've been in the 440s with it. Not on a complete hit to the eighth. So with quarter mile wise, I think I went like 7:01 at 199. So I still haven't broke my 200 mile an hour virginity yet. But if I ever put the quarter mile gear back in, this new motor will do it real quick. So we've just been running at 8 mile lately. Just for safety and, the cost of parts and all that stuff. So, one day I could probably throw the quarter mile gear back in it and, run out the back door, and I'm sure the thing would probably run 660s, 650s out the back door. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, soon enough.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So no, I just need more test hits with this motor. Like I said, we had problems last year on the injection on the fuel side, and we figured out all those problems. So it's made some good hits since then. Obviously at COTS we don't get a time slip, so I really don't know what the thing ran, a couple weeks ago. I know the night that we're testing, it booked the trans at 500 feet, and it coasted through, and it was only 100 slower than its fastest 8 mile time ever. So, if that tells you something, it's starting to come around. So we just gotta get the whole package figured out here. The other thing too, my data recorder broke. I haven't had any data on the car whatsoever at COTS. So that's been another big issue. So I was kind of tuning blind on it and just going by feel as a driver and, looking at plugs and stuff. So with the COTS money, I ordered a new data recorder this week. So hopefully that comes in and that solves a lot of my problems and figures out a lot of my issues here. And the car will obviously get a lot faster after that. So.
Right. So my video guy buddy George said it was around 2006 when he did the video of the car.
What was that? I'm sorry, I'm trying to hear you here.
I was saying that video guy, my friend George, he said it was around 2006 that he did the video of the Bad Judgment.
Yep. So, yeah, I think he got a video of it. So, 2006 would have been. Yeah, we still had the blower motor in it. So I think that was we kind of broke the blower motor, and that's kind of when we parked it for a little bit. So, but no, that thing's got a lot of history, man. I mean, my dad bought the car, I believe, in '92, and he had the chassis built. I believe the chassis was all done in '94. The two-frame chassis is underneath it now, so. I mean, that thing's been around for a long time, you know, and I'm sure there's a ton of video and stuff of it, so.
Yeah. Then, as far as Dick Messino's car, I just remembered who his new driver is. He's got Kevin Lawrence driving that car now.
What was it? I'm trying to hear it. My phone's kind of breaking up here. I'm sorry.
I was saying, as far as Dick Messino's car, I just remembered who he's got driving that car now. It's going to be Kevin Lawrence, Pro Stock driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Then his other, the other Shakeretto run car, the blown alcohol one.
Yeah, the orange one.
Yeah, that one. Chuck Weck's gonna be driving that one.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it'd be good to see Chuck back out there. I remember his old. Was that a thing, a Studebaker?
Yeah.
A top fuel pro mod.
Yep.
So that thing's fucking cool.
Yeah. So now, for you, throughout all the years of drag racing, besides your dad, who else has been inspirational to you, like other drag racers?
Honestly, my dad raced Army department a lot. You know, when I was younger, we still, a couple match races with Arnie a few years ago, and he's been a really awesome dude, and always taking time to talk with me and stuff, and. Never actually got a chance to race them personally myself. I usually put my dad in the car because he likes that nostalgia stuff and the match race stuff. I throw him in the car every now and again. You know, if I want to try something stupid, and sometimes it's easier to sit back and watch the car do its thing. You know, outside the car, it's hard to feel sometimes what it's doing inside the car. So I'll still throw my dad in there, the big event weekends, like, when you're on Memorial Day, Labor Day, and stuff at the Grove, I'll put my dad in the car, let him drive it, and I can watch the car, I can tune the car, and kind of figure stuff out on my own that way, so. And he still digs doing it, he still loves driving the thing, but usually I do, the heads-up races, the no preps, the heads ups, we've been down to Shakedown at the Summit and stuff a couple times. Done okay down there. But usually I drive it, for that stuff, so.
Right. So now, besides you and your dad, as crew members, who else do you have as crew members for that car?
So, one of my kind of part owner of the team, Dennis Stiegel, who's actually track manager at the Grove. He's part owner of the team since I think like 97, 98. Him and my dad have been partners, so Dennis owns a lot of parts in the car, and so Dennis helps us out a lot. He still loves tuning with me and stuff like that. So when we get together, Dennis, whenever we're racing, Dennis is not basically working at the track. So Cots weekend, he has nothing to do with the track. He's on our crew. One of my dad's other buddies, Jerry Ranieri, he just retired. So, when we come back, I'm working all day. My dad's working all day. So he comes to the shop every day, and, he knocks the whole car apart, knock apart the rear end, checking stuff, he'll knock the trans out of it, knock the heads and the blower off of it so he can check stuff or, change stuff out. So, he's really a great asset to our team, and, it'd be a lot more work on my side if I didn't have him around either, so.
Now, do you guys have any sponsors for the car?
Mm-hmm. So, basically right now, we have Bravo Company sponsoring us. So they make badass AR, stuff, their ad says military grade weaponry, so they make badass AR stuff. I think they make some AK stuff too. So, local guy by us, and we actually work on his personal muscle cars and all that stuff, but he makes all the stuff in-house. Awesome guy. So he came on board and sponsored us once we got the whole Harley wrap. The deal behind the Harley wrap actually is Harley approached us and wanted a car for their museum. They were setting up a drag race exhibit basically at the museum. So they had a bunch of drag bikes there and stuff, but they wanted a couple cars that they could wrap and kind of put out on promotion, at the museum that were also racing and stuff too. So I think they did a couple, I think they did Kilpatrick cars at, they're bracket guys. So they did two of their cars and, they did ours. So, actually, Greg Z did the whole wrap on the thing. So it was, Greg did just a phenomenal job on the wrap, and it was amazing. So, Harley really didn't do the sponsorship for us. They basically just paid for the wrap, and we drop off the car when they need it, but, more just, honor to be, to have it on there. So I think it looks badass. So we just kind of left the thing on there, but it is all shiny black underneath. It's got a, really nice paint job underneath, and it looks really cool. So.
Right. So now, Clint, when you first put the blower and back in there, what was it like to get behind the wheel for the first time and drive it with the blower in it?
Probably around 2011. So 2011, 2012, that was the first time I drove it, and right off the bat, first run, I'd been in the sevens with the dragster. I got real close to the sevens with the nitrous motor. I'd never just had it turned up enough. But the first pass out, I think, the thing went a 7-0. First pass out, I short shifted the shit out of it, and I think it went like 196. I had it pretty soft, but that was it was definitely, the nitrous motor would leave real hard. It'd run hard at 330 and just kind of peter out after that. The blower motor at 330, it's just getting rolling. So I mean, it's definitely a ride all the way to the quarter mile with that thing. So.
All right. So now, how did your dad come up with the name Bad Judgment?
My dad got that name way back when, probably because he made dumb decisions at some point in his life. Or something. So you look at the back of his boat, it says Mr. Bad Judgment on the back of his boat too. So I don't know. He got that name, and it just kind of stuck with the car, more or less. Not so much me, but it just stuck with the car, and that's what it's always had on the side of it. So it used to be Bad Judgment Racing. It's on the side of the trailer, everything else. And when Greg did the wrap, he actually put Mr. Bad Judgment on the window. So
right. So now, Clint, when you get ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation for you to get ready?
Honestly, between rounds is, the biggest thing. 'Cause we got to knock the covers off that thing every pass, check valve train and stuff, because that is a 10,000 plus RPM engine. So we rev that thing right up to 10 grand every hit. So we got to knock the covers off, check valve springs, check, valve train, all that stuff. Try to keep the motor cool too is another big thing. And there's no coolant in that motor; it's all billet. So honestly, for me, just getting all that stuff done between rounds, and then they call us, and we're right back up there. So there's really for me, there's no preparation. You just hop in the car and go. I'd rather have it that way because I don't get to sit around and get in my head and think about stupid shit that could happen or whatever. So, if I'm right back in the car, I'm not worried about tuning calls or anything like that. I'm just in the car and ready to roll then. So,
right.
No, not much preparation. I got some laps in the car, so I feel very comfortable in it. And I like just hopping in there and going. So, doing my thing.
Right. So now, besides the Grove, do you guys take the car out anywhere else and run it?
We try to. I mean, we got limited time, limited budget to do stuff like that. Last year we made it down to 41 for the can't remember. I think it was a prep race. I can't remember the name. It was like Shakedown or something like that. That deal ended up getting rained out. That was the only time we really traveled with it last year. We really like to make it down for Shakedown at the Summit, but that falls in the same week in the small cots. And my loyalty is to Steve and Trent, doing the cots deal, and obviously to the Grove and stuff too. So we do their stuff, and I think we might try to make one up in Minnesota. I've been talking to my buddy Greg Schmidt, and they got a deal up kind of by Twin Cities up there, and I think we might try to make one of their heads-up deals, and guess you see where the rest of the year goes here.
So now, would you consider Great Lakes Dragway your favorite track to run on?
Oh yeah. So we're only 45 minutes from the track, so I mean we test there, we run there, and I get a lot of laps on that track. So no, we just love it down there. It's like a second home for us. So
right. So now, where do you get all your safety products from, like your safety suit and all that stuff, the gloves, the helmet, all that stuff?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, where do you get all your safety stuff from, like your gloves, your boots, your helmet, everything?
Most of the stuff is actually I think all of it's pretty much from Simpson. So Simpson actually made me my custom suit 2 years ago, so I got a Dash 20 suit. I got the latest Simpson helmet with the Simpson Hans device, Simpson Dash 20 shoes, Dash 15 shoes, I'm sorry. But I don't really skimp on the safety part of it. I kind of go a little bit overboard on that, which is fine. I've never had an issue, but I just don't want to want to have that issue in the future. So I don't want to run into it, and I want to be prepared for it. So, but no, I try to run the nice stuff. So.
Right. So what kind of tires do you guys run on the car?
It's a Hoosier 33 and a half by 17 by 16. It's a stiff sidewall. Being that the car's so heavy, I run a little stiffer sidewall on it just to keep the tire more round and keep it from shaking the tires so much. And it is a double beadlock. So
now the engine's a 360 cubic foot block.
What was that?
I said the engine's a 360 cubic foot.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of breaking up here.
I said the engine's 360 cubic foot.
It's a 426, or
no.
I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking up here.
I was saying under the hood, what do you got? A 360 cubic foot?
600.
No, you got a 360 cubic foot block under the hood?
It's a 521 Hemi is what it is.
521.
Yep, 521. So it's this one's a big bore, short stroke deal. It got a lot of cylinder head flow on it. Newest, pretty much latest, greatest top alcohol stuff on it. Billet block, billet cylinder heads, big camshaft. It's got a lot of airflow through the motor. So I actually shipped the thing up at 10,000 RPM. So when it sounds real crazy, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos and stuff, but when it sounds like it's revving to the moon, it actually is. So it's a little hard on valve springs and stuff, but it makes so much power up there. It honestly, it really doesn't start making power till about 8,000 RPM, and then it takes off after that. So that's why this one's a little bit more finicky. Our old motor, that one made really awesome torque and stuff. Is a lot easier to tune. This new one is a little bit more finicky on what it wants in the setup, but once it's up there, man, it runs hard.
All right. So now for you, Clint, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career?
Probably the two biggest ones: winning the first Big Terry Cots event, and then winning this last one. So I won some other races and stuff, bracket racing, stuff like that, which is very cool. Get your first win, stuff like that. But the COTS ones are by far the biggest for me. just the exposure, everything else. I mean, you know, the way the fan base is at COTS, it's an insane event. We love running it, and I mean, that's the only two events that we have, you know, set on the calendar every year, and we try our ass off to make it there every year. So we spent a lot of money after we blew the thing up to make it to the fall race last year, and I mean, losing by 4th was pretty disheartening, but you know, it made us come back this year a little bit more hungry. So,
right. So I'm gonna ask you a few fun questions here before we finish up this interview, Clinton. If someone gave you $200 million to build a brand new drag race track, where would you think about building the new track, and what kind of features would you want to put into that track?
I'd love to build one in my backyard if I could. So, yeah, ideally, I mean, I'd love to make an awesome world-class track up in Wisconsin here somewhere. You know, I kind of love everything about the Grove, the small town, you know, the small feel of it, you know, and kind of like running a little smaller tracks, you know, it's pretty cool. Right. But I also do love, you know, you go down to Joliet, Norwalk, tracks like that. I've raced down at Columbus and stuff before, you know, when that was an NHRA real deal track. But as far as features and stuff, I mean, you know, just make it awesome for the fans. You know, the cool thing about the Grove, they got 2 bars there. So after racing, that's my favorite part about that track. But I mean, Norwalk and stuff is just a phenomenal track. Joliet's beautiful too. You know, the pits at Norwalk are just phenomenal. I mean, it's like a whole kind of town and stuff too underneath the grandstands. It's just a really cool track. So I like being down there. You know, I traveled to a couple other ones and stuff too, but Norwalk's probably my favorite track. That's just a phenomenal track. I've been down to Cordova and stuff too. That's an awesome track. But as far as features, I don't know exactly what I'd add, but I still like the small town, you know, small tracks. You know, it's fun running at the smaller outlaw tracks like that. So
right. So now, Clint, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
I do a lot of snowmobiling in the winter to get my speed fix in. So usually I'm riding every chance I get up in the UP, or if we ever get snow down here in Wisconsin, I try to ride as much as I can. I just bought myself a 4-wheeler too, so I can go ride that around a little bit. So just kind of fill up the off weekends. But yeah, usually if it's got a motor on it, I'm usually on it. So that's pretty much my hobbies right now. So.
All right. So now, since you've been driving the Bad Judgment, have you had a greatest competitor?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, since you've been driving the Bad Judgment car, have you had a greatest competitor out there?
I don't. We used to race Arnie, just match race them and stuff. We match race, shake, rattle, and run. And I think, I mean, lately, you know, our car is really close to Tough's car ET wise, and you know, I know the guy real good. You know, we helped him out with this stuff. You know, and me and Brian talk all the time. And I mean, I guess after the final, you know, I mean, that's kind of our. As far as local guys go, I mean, he's our kind of our competition right now. He's by far the closest to us. So. Right.
So now, have you won any awards throughout your career, like trophies or wallies or anything?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm still breaking up here. I'm trying to walk around in the area better, but.
I said, have you won any trophies in your career, like, you know, trophies or plaques or wallies, anything like that?
I got that COTS license plate, so I'm happy about that. So, I gotta. Most of the races don't really have trophies or nothing. I just, you know, it's all about the cash now, which I'm fine with. any little bit of money I can get, you know, that helps. So, but getting that license plate at COTS, that was kind of a goal. I wanted that almost more than cash. So, I got a whole line of trophies downstairs from junior dragster racing and bracket racing, stuff like that. But mean much to me anymore. You know, I'd rather have that cop's license plate that he gave me. So.
Right. Now, with driving the bad judgment car, do you have a most embarrassing moment ever?
I think the first year I drove it when we put the blower motor back in it. We're down at Indy, and we're doing a top sportsman race down there. And it was killer on the tree all weekend. It ran awesome. I think I made it down to 4 cars. The trans broke. I broke the converter. And we're down to 4 cars though. So I think on one of the qualifying passes, I did the burnout. I backed up. I went to put the thing in neutral. Well, still just a little bit in forward. It wasn't fully in neutral, and I went to just lift the throttle, clean the motor out. The car launched. It picked the front tires up off the ground, and I almost ran over my old man, and he wasn't very happy with me about that. But
I can imagine.
No, you learn. Yeah.
So a few more questions here, Clinton. What's your favorite food to eat?
Probably either pizza or cheeseburger. So pretty simple. Right. So that's I pretty much live off of pizza or cheeseburgers all week. So.
Right. What's your favorite beverage?
Probably a vodka Red Bull. Not gonna lie.
Now, how about non-alcoholic?
Yeah, non-alcoholic. I have a few Mountain Dews every now and again. So.
All right, cool. Now, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
I don't know. I really, honestly, don't watch a lot of TV or movies, but it'd probably be some sort of car-related movie of some sort. Going 60 seconds, something like that. So.
All right. So, what's your favorite music to listen to?
Well, I've been jamming out to Avenged Sevenfold and Volbeat all night.
So you're a hard rock metal guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. It was a little everything. So I mean, like a little bit of the country, not much, but more of the old school country shit.
Yeah.
A little bit of rap. I love older rock too. Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, shit like that.
Yeah. But
usually when I'm working away, doing my normal thing, it's usually constant Avenged Sevenfold, Volbeat, Linkin Park, stuff like that. So.
All right. So now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your whole drag racing career?
Man, probably still gonna be one of the Cots wins. I'm telling you, probably the first Cots win. I mean, that was real exciting for us, and this last one was a little bit more emotional. My parents actually had their house burned down a week after fall Cots last year. And that's why we really didn't touch the car very much over the winter or anything, and we barely made it to this last race, so getting that win was a little bit emotional, very emotional for my dad. So he and he deserved it. So all the work and help that he's done on the car, it was kind of well deserved. So
man. That's awesome. So now, if people that are listening want to see where you're going to be, what's the best way to Kilpatrick Racing page?
Probably just on Facebook. So hop on the page. I don't post a lot on there. I try to when I can. My sister helps me out, but yeah, check out the Facebook page. We also got our shop page. It's KilpatrickEngine.com. So. Don't do a lot on there, but we usually post stuff on Facebook on our shop page, every week and stuff too. So
right. Well, Clinton, I want to thank you very much for taking time to talk to me tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Any final words?
Yep.
You have any final words? You don't have no final words?
What was that?
I said no final words.
Yeah. No, man. Thanks. Oh, dog's going nuts. No, just everybody for congratulating me on the win, and thanks to my old man, Dennis, Jerry, everybody else that helps us out, and I really appreciate it, man. So we're gonna try like hell in Falcott. So
all right, we'll get you on again.